Perfect. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Healing Hearts. This is my friend Steph that we have today interviewing. I'm so excited to interview her because she's a wonderful photographer and she's been doing so many nonprofits from way back then till now. And so I just wanted her to explain her story and her life. So tell us what you do and how you kind of build yourself to today.
Well, first of all, thank you for sitting down on this couch and being able to have such an amazing conversation. I've been looking forward to this, so thank you, and thank you for what you're doing. Gosh, a little bit about myself. I started my career in the medical field, thinking I almost would become a nurse. A very wise friend said, well, before you jump into that, why don't you get your nursing assistant license and see if you like it? And I did that, and I quickly realized that I'm such a people person. I have to know all about you, what's going on, your story, that I would develop such great relationships with patients that if they were to pass, I think it would impact me tremendously at that time. And that was in my 20s. And so I chose not to go that route, but I loved the medical field because guess what? It was all about helping people. That was totally my jam. So I did that. And then I decided, you know what? I think I need to do something a little different and get some other experience. And I thought, let me jump out of the medical field and go into corporate just for a year. Just for a year. And that led me down a 20-plus career doing supplier diversity, advocating for minority-owned businesses, small business owners, procurement, supply chain, and a lot of heavy corporate kind of environments, which was fine at the time until it wasn't. During that time in my corporate career, I took a trip to Africa. I had an opportunity to do some humanitarian work with my sister, who is a nurse.
Which I saw the photography for.
Thank
Beautiful,
you.
by the way. Okay.
Thank you. So I thought, let me live my dream. I've always been so enamored with National Geographic. You and I share the passion of photography and do a lot of it. So of course I'm thinking, oh yes, let me go. And so I was the team's documentarian with a team of medical professionals. And that trip changed everything, 100%. I documented that trip. We did medical care. Then we visited a school. I had over 600 students in it. And we got there. We had 3 Jeeps carrying our team. And all of a sudden, all these kids come out of the school and they're surrounding us. I have my camera. I can't even move. I've just got all these children around me. Lena, I could barely breathe.
Oh my gosh.
There was something about the energy and the electricity of these kids, their energy. And it's really interesting when you go to another country and you see different things. Some of them were malnourished, some of them had shoes, they had uniforms, but some of them were really tattered. In our westernized culture, we go, oh my gosh, you must be miserable. But there were nothing but smiles and curiosity and love. And that was like a beacon just drawing me in. And I was so overwhelmed by what I was seeing and experiencing. Now, I'll say that personally, I chose not to have children. I knew that birthing a child was not going to be where my involvement with children was going to be. I knew very young that I was going to be advocating for kids who had less or who were struggling in some capacity. So I thought, that would be my role. And when I was in the middle of this large group of children, it made sense why I made that choice. Oh, see, it still gets me emotional.
Yeah.
I just knew. So that trip was a very amazing trip, and it changed everything. I went back home, went to work, and was like, this isn't doing it for me anymore. I need to change my career. So I started volunteering for a nonprofit that provided free tutoring to students experiencing homelessness. Loved it. And I thought, I'm going to volunteer myself into a job. And that's exactly what I did.
Nice.
So 3 years later, a position was open. I interviewed and I got the job, and I was there for 5 years. Wow. And then there was no more growth for me there. And I'm very much a person that likes to grow and expand, and I just wasn't able to do that there. So then I thought, okay, now what? So I did some consulting, working for after-school programs, trying to develop content and curriculum for that, still working with kids, which I love. And most recently, I joined a company that focuses, again, in the homeless population, working on connecting those experiencing homelessness with vital healthcare resources. So kind of that's where the social services part of everything is. And so that has been incredibly satisfying as well. So that's on the professional side.
Nice,
And then I
nice.
do photography. I do professional photography as well.
Yeah.
And I'm on the board of a nonprofit that is focused on suicide awareness and prevention.
Great.
So I'm always trying to give back somewhere.
Oh, wow, that's so beautiful. It's
you.
really nice to see like all that you've done for the homeless, and at the same time those are your kids. Like, and that's probably why you didn't have kids, which is such a beautiful story. You're like, those are my kids around the world. And it's like,
there's a million ways to be a mom.
Yes, exactly.
And
that's wonderful.
in Africa, I've been since 2011 supporting a young girl there. Her name is Anne.
Aww.
And I've been supporting her education and other needs all these years. And so when I go back and forth to Africa, I see her, spend time, and then further determine how I can be of assistance. And I'm happy to say that she graduated college.
Wow.
She now has 2 children. She's doing really well. And she calls me mom, and I call her my daughter.
That is so sweet.
And we just have this connection that I can't even explain, but I'm incredibly grateful for. And again, it makes all these events kind of make sense as to why I didn't have my own children. I love kids, because of course when someone hears, especially as a female, oh, you don't have children, either you couldn't or you don't like them.
Yeah.
Nothing could have been further from the truth. It was a very conscious choice that I'm going to do for kids who have not as much or have certain needs. That was my role. It was very clear. And so Anne, and then other kids that I get to assist, I mean, there's multiple ways you can be a mom.
Exactly.
Right?
And that's so beautiful, because that is a lot of difficulties that some women do have, is that they're struggling with not being able to have kids, or they don't have a partner to have kids. And sometimes it's like, okay, then how are we going to do this? Do I adopt? Do I, but you can also be part of these nonprofit organizations that give you that opportunity to spend time with children, which is so beautiful as well.
Yeah.
So that's
love
nice.
them.
Yeah. So thank you for so much for talking about that. Another question I did have, kind of just triangling into your current life and how things are going. But you did a little bit in the questions that we did talk about. You did talk about your childhood life. And so how has your childhood life been kind of incorporated, that you've learned from and you built it into your life now?
You know what's great about that question is I just had a conversation with my mom, seriously,
Really?
earlier today we were talking. We all go through ups and downs. There's no perfect life. There's no perfect anything, for that matter. Everybody's doing the best they can with what they have.
Right.
And my life was no different, and it's still no different. I am one of 3 children. My brother, who's in between myself and my sister, was adopted and who had very serious mental health issues, very disruptive in the home. It was a very traumatic experience having him in the house, watching my parents try to deal with that. And this was back, in the 70s, where mental health issues weren't like they are now, where we talk about them more freely. It was very hush-hush. So nobody really, even my parents' closest friends, didn't know what was going on with him and what we were up against with him. But it was really challenging. And then he moved out of the house and then just had a tumultuous life, and unfortunately ended up committing suicide. And he just was tired, just tired. And I think that was one moment for sure. That was a moment where you have a choice when something happens. You can let it consume you, overwhelm you, and paralyze you. Or you can make a conscious choice to work through the experience, try to heal from it, and then use that experience in some positive way somehow. And it may not be obvious in the moment, but I'm a believer, if we can take our pain, our trials, our tribulations, and move through them in a way where we can then share those stories like this, it helps people know that they're not alone. They're not the only person going through that, and others have gone through it as well. And then find sources of inspiration. And so that's what I decided to do. And so I took that experience and parlayed that. And then even before that, as a child at 12, being diagnosed with scoliosis, I'm like, okay, where's this going to take me? So I had a massive, it was very young, right? So I had a complicated spine surgery for that. But the great thing about that, it was one of the biggest gifts. And it was one of the moments where I realized I feel at my best when I'm helping others. I can tell you where I was standing, what the room smelled like, because after I come from a family of photographers, and so my mom documented my whole hospital experience. So at the end of that, I had a photo album.
Oh my gosh.
And my physician was so taken with that. He's like, well, would you be interested in talking to some of my patients who are in the hospital recovering? You could show them your album and show them that they're going to be okay.
So you're telling me you've been doing Healing Hearts for many, many years.
I didn't realize that. Yes. Yes.
I'm just saying, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
You've been giving everyone a healing process.
But I realized standing at bedside, there's a picture my mom took of me standing at bedside showing the photo album. And you know, being able to calm someone's concerns, nerves, whatever it might be, made me feel like that's what I'm here for. It was almost like that's the time I realized my purpose, like what I'm here for. And everything I've ever touched since then has some thread to that. So with my brother's situation, I chose to look at it as, yes, it was a tragedy and it was something that really affected our family deeply. However, instead of looking at it as a tragedy, I looked at it as, well, maybe he wasn't meant to be the brother. Maybe he was coming into our life to be our teacher.
Yes.
Because what we learned about mental health, I'm telling you, many years later, I'm on a plane to New Orleans. I'm sitting with a lady who just starts talking. We build this quick rapport. And she tells me how she has a son living on the street. And his story is so much, almost identical to my brother's. Wow. We sat for 5 hours on that plane, holding hands, crying, comforting each other. And she said, I thought I was the only one.
No, yeah.
And see, that's the power of being able to share your story and the things you've been been through. So there was that. Flash forward. Oh gosh, there's just been lots of ups and downs, but a determination to not let those things freeze me, paralyze me, get me down too long. I don't want to stay in that mode. Yes, recover, heal, all of those things. So,
at what point did you start to think that, you know, it was necessary for you to start getting therapy or start talking to someone?
I kept going.
Okay, good.
And I've always used therapy at different times in my life when I feel like I need that extra impartial, you know, just that other viewpoint and someone smarter than me.
Yeah, it's helpful. It's definitely helpful. Like I was talking in my first episode that I went to a healer and she's practically like my therapist. And you just need that external party to talk to who's like not judging you, who's not like your mom was kind of like, what do you mean? You know? And she can't see it because she's like, this is my daughter. She's fine. She'll be fine, you know? And that's how they see it. They have their heart with it, but they don't understand it, right? Versus a therapist or a healer or somebody, they're like, here, talk to me. Let me help you through this process. You know?
And a parent wants to do it.
Yeah.
And my mom was trying to understand, like, what is it? What is really bothering you? But I just couldn't articulate it in the moment.
Yeah.
And, you know, I can understand from my mom that must have felt so helpless, right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, I am helpless right now because I don't even know how to articulate it to you.
Exactly.
So I'll have to get back to you on that.
And that's the thing. Like, you know, of course we know that they're there to support us in whatever avenue we take. But it's like, you know, of course, we have to talk to somebody else that's external, right?
Yes.
Like we know them, they understand us, we understand them. But if we talk to somebody external, we need a third party site, right? So it's helpful.
Plus, I didn't want to exhaust my friends because, you know, we have friends and you're like, okay, you'll be those late night conversations, but you can only do that so much before your friends are like, okay.
That's enough.
Everything does have a limit. Respectfully so.
Yeah.
And so I think that being able to kind of lay that at the feet of the therapist or the healer is extremely helpful. And you're not having the judgment. I mean, poor Betty. She's like, oh, are we circling this again? And she never said that, but I would always tease her. She's like, it's just on your own time. Exactly. And so she helped me make peace with where I was at because I was putting internal pressure on myself to move through this quickly. and get to the other side. Let's get on with life. No, it's okay to have a moment.
Exactly. And it takes time for everything.
Yeah.
Nobody can just snap their fingers and magically be okay. It's not like that. I mean, it takes a while to get through a lot of suffering. So
it does.
I'm happy for where you're at right now. You're doing great, by the way.
Thank you.
And on top of that, for those who are going through similar situations, a lot of them also, I feel like I've seen some friends and family, they kind of distract themselves. Or do you think distracting and avoiding to kind of like think about it or talk about it, is good for them? Or do you think it's necessary for them to actually take the time for themselves?
It's such an individual process. It doesn't look the same. I mean, it just doesn't look the same for everybody. I can say that I'm such an analyzer and overthinker.
Yeah.
Shout out to my overthinkers. But
Same here, actually.
I felt better if I was analyzing. But then I also realized in doing that, then I wasn't making space for, you need to do what brings you joy. Just breathe, Steph. You don't have to be all analytical about it and finding all the answers right now. You don't need to ruminate constantly on it. It's okay to let your brain just hum and not be in this over-processing mode, if that makes sense. And so I think it's different for everybody. And I don't know even how you advise anybody to go through it, except, I think in therapy, just listening to me, as I have questions, as I hear myself talk, I'm like, oh, there's something. I know I'm hearing myself, right?
Right.
So I think it's very different, but I do encourage grace, giving yourself grace. We always are giving everybody else grace.
Right.
And I'm definitely the hypocrite in this because I'll give grace all day long to everybody else, but I'm the worst at giving it to myself. And so when I finally gave myself permission to just breathe, that I don't have to have it all figured out right now, that was a moment of just freedom.
That's really good.
And a lessening of the pressure. Because nobody else around me was like expecting me to be just over it, but I was. Would I do that to you? Heck no. But for some reason, I'm doing it to me. So I had to learn to be a better friend to myself.
That's beautiful.
Because I can do that all day long outside of that, but wasn't doing it for myself. So I think it's a process in self-discovery. Lean into it, embrace the ugly cry and the tears. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's a process, and it's going to look different for everybody. But knowing that you're not the only one going through it, I think is very helpful. I can't tell you how many people I had talked to that all of a sudden shared their stories of ending relationships and all these things. And I'm like, oh, so this is everything I was feeling was not uncommon. But it feels like that when you're in it. So I think getting support is so important to healing, giving yourself grace and time, and finding what brings you joy. And you may not find it right away. I was like, I don't even want to go outside. So how can I think about joy?
Yeah.
I'm too depressed for joy. But as the fog starts to lift, you're able to get to those places. So if we can remember to not put that kind of pressure on ourselves, because we wouldn't do it if you came to me tomorrow, Lena, and you were just like laid out, but I can't move, something traumatic happened, I would not be pressured. I would not be doing to you what I did to myself.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I know. It is difficult. Depression is not an amazing feeling, of course,
No.
But everybody has gone through it. I feel like everyone has a time and point where they're like, okay, I'm just going to cave in. There's too much going around me. There's too much noise. There's too much going on. And we just need the silence to really process. Is there anything else you wanted to add, to kind of give advice to others in a healing process? Or, the biggest question I also have for you is like, where are you at today now? Are you ready to start your job, start something new? Like, where are you right now in your life?
I would say that where I'm at is just now being able to come up for air and go and look at this landscape and say, now what do I get to do? What's going to be this next half of my life? What is it going to look like? What do I want to do? And so I'm really evaluating all of that right now.
Nice.
It's scary. It's exciting.
Yeah.
Because as a planner, the unknown can be very just terrifying for me. I want to have it all figured out.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to do it different now. And that's where the learning is through these things, is that, yes, I had a really tragic experience, but I'm saying thank you to it. And that is how I've chosen to look at everything that's happened in my life, is that, yes, we're going to go through trials and tribulations, but those are the teaching moments. That is where we learn. And if we're willing to do our work and grow, because we're going to stay stagnant in the happy times. You don't grow then. You only grow when the other things happen.
Right.
And as much as we want to avoid those things, the beauty in that is where the growth is.
Exactly.
So I'm at a place now that I can say, thank you. Thank you, universe, for this experience. I get it. And now my world is opened in a new way. And now I get to have a new adventure. So there's a new season, and I don't know what that season looks like yet. I'm still kind of crafting that. But I do know that I don't feel as heavy. I'm definitely not in the deep depression. I have moments, weepy moments. I'll hear a song, something will remind me of something, and that's normal. But I'm really in the place of let's create. Let's do something. I call it my yes mode, that I'm in the spirit of yes. I want to explore everything. And then let's see where it goes.
It's like a blank canvas.
It is. And I've had all these experiences along the way, right? So there's Africa, there's my photography, there's the documentary, there's so many things that I've touched and done. I'm going back into those things going, okay, there's got to be some reason why these things happened. And now I'm kind of sifting through them all, right? Like a treasure chest. Ooh, what do we want to do with that gold? And what do we want to do with that? And that's where I'm at.
Like this, magically you came to this interview.
100%, because I love the concept of this. Yeah. Because as someone who believes in the power of our stories, and I've always told like the students that I've worked with in the past, I had a student that I was tutoring who I learned wanted to do a TED Talk.
Oh, wow.
And so we went through the process of how do you craft like a speech and do something like that. And so when he read his TED Talk or his speech, there was so much power because he shared his story.
Wow.
And I don't even think he realized the depth of what he just did.
Yeah.
And I had chills that I was just like, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. And I said, I really hope you embrace telling your story. There's nothing to be ashamed of. So your family's had some hard times. You're coming up out of them. You can inspire somebody else who's going through what you're going through. Please tell your story if you're comfortable. And I know not everybody's, comfortable doing that. So I believe in the power of a story and the power that has to heal, change, inspire. And that, I'm so glad you're doing this.
Thank you.
Because that's what it's all about. And I love that. So powerful.
And I'm so happy you're here to give your story, because we do have so many people out there that are still going through a healing process and trying to understand, okay, what's my next step? Where do I go? And it's okay, like you said, to be sad, to be sitting in that zone, but don't sit there too long, because you still want to get yourself out. You still want to get yourself going and still live like an empty canvas that you have that you want to build upon that. So that's so beautiful.
It's like everything will happen when it's supposed to happen.
Right.
In the meantime, I'm working on stuff 2.0. I want to be the best version of myself as possible and just do that work. And I will trust that the universe will craft something beautiful for whatever the next leg of this journey is. When I met you, we met at a car event.
Oh my gosh,
right?
Yes. Race car event.
Race car event. Drift cars in particular.
Drifting, yeah. Drifting. What an amazing event. I was like, what other woman would actually enjoy this? This is amazing.
You were like my soul sister.
I was like, I love drifting, and now I watch Formula One. I've upgraded to Formula One.
I love that, yes.
Yeah. So, okay,
no,
but yeah.
So we met that way, and you have a love for photography. I started following you, watching your work, and just watching you evolve, and to be able to be a champion of that, because you are that bright light, and that's what it's about, and that's why I'm just so proud of you, Lena, for doing this.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Yes, get it out there.
Well, it's not about me, it's about you today.
I know, but I just have to give you that credit.
I appreciate it. But yeah, so any additional advice that you want to give to the audience, that you want to share, anything else that people need to hear, that you're like, I've been wanting to tell people this. I'm like,
I would say be open. You know, we all have our insecurities, our flaws, our brilliance. We're human at the end of the day. And, you know, especially in these times that we're living in where there seems to be a lot more hate, we'll just say a lack of positivity in a lot of ways. And I'm grateful for those that are out there that are still trying to continue to bring about positivity, joy, and inspiration. But I think most of all, being open, because we're all human.
Right.
Don't assume anything about anybody. Let's connect here, heart to heart, because that is where it's at. We are all love at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. Yes, we have hard times. We've got stuff we're going through. We might not be having a great day. But guess what? The guy at the gas station or the person giving you your coffee, maybe they weren't as friendly. Well, maybe there's a why to that, because we're all going through stuff in some magnitude. And being able to give grace and connect here. Don't judge. Remove all that. Mm-hmm. Be that light as much as you can for others. Some days it's not so easy to do that. I get it. Yeah. But being able to do that and just recognize that we are all truly love at the end of the day. And being able to be champions for each other is so important. And I'll do that every day. And I think one of the most profound things that I experienced in Africa really solidified this for me. I was on a hill in the middle of a village looking out at the Serengeti. Wow. And I was talking to this Maasai tribal individual. And we were talking. And we were not talking brain to brain. It was so heart to heart. And I don't mean like mushy, but we were talking from a place that was where we should be. And my whole time and every time I go and travel there, that's how it is. And it's a beautiful reminder of what's possible between humans. Yeah. Because yes, there's stressors and challenges we go through, but when we connect here first, then here, that is where really beautiful, deep, meaningful encounters and relationships happen. Right. And that's so important. And that's what you and I had. Yes. And these things keep coming up that just are reminders of that. So just where we can be open, be the light that we are. I know that may sound kind of all woo-woo, but it's true. Yeah. It's really true. Yes. And when I used to have manage volunteers working with our students experiencing homelessness, these are kids that were really behind in their academics. They were very embarrassed about what they were going through personally. Then they're also academically behind. So they're hiding. Yeah. And the tutors were all like, oh no, we got to get your grades up. They felt this, oh my gosh, we got to hurry up and do it. And I said, stop. Connect here first. Right. Then everything else from there is going to open up and fall into place. That was my mantra of how I would coach and try to work with our volunteers. And when they did that, amazing transformations happened, both with them and their student, which is just the power of love. Wow.
How did you do that? Like, because a lot of people are not open to express. When they see you, when they get all excited to meet you and stuff, a lot of people put a wall in front of them, you know? And it's like, hey, like, I really want to know what's going on. And they're still like, I'm fine. Like, I'm fine, but they're not, you know? But they're not, and they don't want to express. You kind of let that go, or, you know, like, I'm here for you. And then you kind of leave that door open, or do you just back off?
It's all about trust. Yeah. It's and all about building trust, because we all have we can put our walls up really quickly. But when any of us come in authentic and just being real and yourself, and you come leading with love, no one can resist that. That is the biggest thing to break down any barrier. Because if I'm got my walls up and then you're coming at me and you've got your walls up, that's not going to make me come down with my walls. It's just I'm just going to build more.
Build more, yeah.
But if we're really real with each other and coming from this place, then you know when we come from this place, there's no judgment in here. If we're pure love, judgment, all of that stuff goes away. And that is how we breathe and then come together and do amazing things together. And it's also meeting people where they're at. So even if you do meet someone who may have some walls up, and even if you're coming in very authentic, loving, and all the things, if they're not ready, it's okay. as long as you're demonstrating, I see you, I hear you, I'm giving you space. That is sending a message of love.
Yes, that's true.
Right?
That's really
and then
true.
the second encounter might look a little different. You don't know.
True.
Or the third or the fourth. But if we can be, and that's how you and I work.
That's how we work.
We came in completely.
But for those who are like in that place, like what do you suggest for them? I mean, of course, everyone's taking their time, but what if they've always had their wall up? It's a choice.
The question, well, so my brain goes into like this whole place.
Because you've been there. You've
well,
been
the question
with
is
those type of people,
why are the walls up? Something's driving that and getting to the root of that. And again, in working with children, there's been a lot of that, right?
Exactly.
And so it's the biggest barrier is just, I don't want to say, it's being able to come across in a way that someone can feel safe. Because those walls aren't going to come down if you're not feeling safe.
If you don't feel safe, they're not going to.
Mine won't, right?
Yeah.
Yours wouldn't.
Yeah.
So it's really just a matter of, again, if the walls are up, my curious question is why? What's going on?
Right.
And I'm not going to force someone to talk.
No,
but
right.
I want to at least provide an environment that you know that it's here. If you want to talk, if you want to share, and nothing leaves here. This is a safe and private space. Because also that's something too about building trust is that trust is not only are you going to hurt me, I need to trust that you won't, but it's also, can I trust you with my deepest thoughts?
Right. Right.
And that's important too, right? So when we are building relationships around us in our friendships, that's kind of a requirement, right? That we want that kind of environment that's trust, that I can put my biggest concerns, my worries, my deepest insecurities, and that I know you're not going to judge me. And these are all things that are not easy to do. But I think I learned a long time ago, lead with love. And if someone has walls up, be curious. If someone wants to say, that's fine. If they don't, that's okay. My job is just to let you know that I see you. I love you as a fellow human being, and I'm here for you.
Right. Right.
What the person on the other side of that does with it is that's not in my control.
Right.
But I can control how I show up for others.
Exactly.
So I think it's more that. And then I think if someone does really feel safe and feels connected, then they'll come and they'll be okay. Yeah.
Okay. That's beautiful. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. And we would love more people to come on this show. I know we have a few more interviews lined up,
You're
so
awesome.
I'm excited. You're awesome.
I'm so proud of you.